right, what is Spanish for the bromance is off? Welcome back, everybody. I'm Neil Cavuto, and a world of hurt on the southern border right now. That wall that President Trump is intent on building and says he will. He wants the Mexicans to pay for it. They say that is not going to happen. So now talk of a tax on imports from Mexico, anywhere from 5 to 20%, which would easily pay for this thing. Devil in the details, but right now, it is a devil of a time getting our countries back on the same page or even talking to one another. Former White House advisor Karl Rove on what he makes of all of this. What do you think, Karl? This is quickly turning into a drama.
Yeah. Look, I think you were right. At the end of the day, if this is paid for by a tariff, that tax is really going to be paid by Americans in the form of higher prices for Mexican goods. So let's not kid ourselves. Also, I'm not certain the president has the statutory authority to apply a 20% tax on Mexican goods. We do have the ability under our international trading commitments to apply a tax, a border adjustment tax on all imported goods of 20% and to relieve exports of that 20% tax. Mexico does that, frankly, today with us. But that has to be applied by, approved by Congress and applied to every country in the world. Look, let's step back, too. Neil, there's something that really concerns me we haven't been talking about, and that is Mexico has its own presidential elections in 2018. 5 years ago, when the last elections were held, President Nieto was elected with 38% of the vote. In number 2, the second place, was a virulently anti-American left-winger, a sort of, think Chavez, think Sandinistas, named Lopez Obrador of the PRD, which is the Party of Democratic Revolution. And he is running again. And he hates America, and this is stirring up anti-American sentiment in Mexico, and he is rapidly grabbing a hold of that sentiment and bending it his way. And if we think we got problems today with a pro-American president of Mexico, wait until we get an anti-American president in Mexico.
All right, now the argument that Donald Trump, a lot of people supporting this get tough with Mexico on this wall thing and other stuff is that, they need us a hell of a lot more than we need them. That logic might prevail. That there's probably a great deal of truth to that, but you know how these things can sort of careen off course. What do you think?
Yeah, well, look, they can. And look, President Nieto said, I've got some concerns. Mexico's not going to pay for the wall. I have concerns about this being a major focus point of the meeting, because that's a lot of domestic pressure being put on him. President Trump proceeds to respond by a Twitter saying, well, if you're going to talk like that, maybe the meeting shouldn't come off. Well, this backed him into a corner. President Trump should have expected him to immediately say, okay, I'm not coming. If the president wants to get this thing done, I'd say lower the temperature. I think it's highly unlikely that Mexico is going to directly pay for this. Maybe they can come up with some way through either a border adjustment tax that applies to everyone or some other mechanism. But I'd lower the temperature on this thing, because ultimately, if we have a neighbor on our southern border who is an advocate of Sandinista and Chavez and left-wing policies, we're going to lose cooperation on drugs. We're going to lose cooperation on trade. We're going to lose cooperation on a whole bunch of things.